Hello and welcome. My name is Cheyne Walls. Thank you so much for checking out my channel. I'm currently traveling throughout Utah and Arizona in a camper van, taking advantage of December travels where the crowds are non-existent, and I'm getting some great photographs. For my tool watch selection, the first few days I was using my Rolex Explorer 2. It is more than capable in handling this whole trip, but now I just switched to my Submariner. Just because that river behind me, I'm gonna be climbing up that and swimming up that. So again, the Explorer 2 could totally handle it. It's not gonna be that deep. The Submariner gives me a little bit more peace of mind that if I'm underwater and I do bang it on a rock or something like that, or it does hit something, that impact, it's better insulated, water resistance for that. So now for the rest of the trip, since I'll be dealing with a lot of water, my Rolex Submariner is now my tool watch of choice for this photography trip. Since I'm heading into the Narrows tomorrow, I really should have a waterproof bag, which I did completely forget. But in this case, waterproof bags are so cumbersome, they're so hard to use. Plus the water's only gonna be up to about here tomorrow, so I'm not too worried. So I'm just gonna kind of do a cheap, quick way that I've learned to waterproof my camera gear. It's not the best. Putting them in Ziploc bags. It won't help if you're going for a full swim, but you happen to fall in and get up real quick, your camera gear will be more than safe doing it this way. Sorry for the on-camera audio here, but I'm going to be hiking up this river for about 3 or 4 miles, so the less gear the better. So I just started my hike. I have the Submariner on. I just set my time with the bezel, so I know exactly how long it's taking me to hike this. It's important for this hike, even though I've done it a dozen times, the current. So you can't really depend on the current. The stronger current, it's harder, better breath. It takes a little bit longer. So you can't use destination points to mark, oh, I did a mile. The current slows you up, and when you have a ride waiting for you in the parking lot, you want to make sure you're not late. The Narrows is the grandest slot canyon formation found in Zion National Park, but there are many other notable slot canyons that must be explored if you are in the park, including Left Forks and the Subway slot canyons. So I've been hiking now for about 2 hours. Yeah, I've marked on my bezel when I left today. And you can just see how epic from this B-roll footage the Narrows are up here in Zion. You can see here I got an amazing shot, black and white, which is the sides of the cliff, and the light dances through and all this water, just long exposure motion. And as you can see too, my Submariner Rolex has not gotten wet, but you've seen with this hiking, it just takes one fall and banging it. The Sub is tough enough to go down, 300 meters. I'm sure it's gonna be fine if I took a little spill and knocked it on a rock, which I can't say for a lot of watches. So that's again why I picked the Submariner for this hike. Now you might have seen how every once in a while I take off my backpack because I was too cheap and I was too stupid to bring my dry bag. And I always get the question, well, how do you know when it's going to be too deep? The one I can kind of see, and I have the best warning system in the world. about plumb deep, the backpack needs to go up over my shoulder. Now, there was never any doubt that the Rolex Submariner Date would be more than adequate to handle this kind of environment, but it is kind of nice just having that peace of mind that if I did take a spill, which on occasion I do, the watch, even hitting a rock underwater, would be totally fine and be able to continue on with the journey. The only nitpicking thing that I have found on these travels with the Rolex Submariner Date that's bothered me just a bit is with the triple lock crown system this watch has. It never looks like the crown is completely screwed in. It's totally safe, but it just doesn't look. And I always find me doubting myself that the crown is fully screwed in and maybe sometimes tightening it a little bit more than it needs to be. Thank you so much for watching. I truly do appreciate it. On next week's video, we'll be out exploring and photographing the Grand Canyon with my Rolex Explorer 2. Cheers.